No, you still got the other ones you gotta bring out.
Yeah, I know, but I gotta do this. I gotta.
No. When you finish.
Okay, we on Romans 7 and 2. Read that.
All right, continuation. On who's that rider on the white horse? Okay, and that's Yahweh Shai.
Okay, we deviate a little bit, but we're gonna go right back to that topic.
Romans 7 and 2.
Come.
For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the Lord to her husband, so long as he live. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband.
Now that husband is Christ, and the church, meaning the nation of Israel, is his wife. Read on.
So then, if while her husband lived, she be married to another man, she should be called an adulteress.
So right now, as we have married ourselves to these other nations, to their gods and their religions and their philosophies, we have become a harlot, an adulterer. Because we are married to Christ and we're supposed to keep his rules, his regulations, his laws. Those laws are with us forever. Read on.
And it says, but if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
So it says free or loose? It says free?
It says free from the law.
Okay.
So she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
Come. So she's free from the law. That's the end of it? It's more.
That's it.
Okay, so she's free from the law, though she be married to another man. Let me see something. What's going on here? I don't see it. Mine says loose, but what are we at? Be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. Is that correct?
Romans
7 and 2.
7 and 2?
Yeah.
3.
No, read 7 and 2.
For the one, we was in 3 though, but it's okay.
Read 7 and 2.
For the woman who hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he lives. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband.
Okay, the reason that's important because that word loose leads you to precepts. We're going to go to Luke. Luke chapter 13 and verse 12. To show you what that's about, because when he died, the nation of Israel was loosed from the curse of the law. Not just the law, but the curse of the law. Because there's a curse that comes with not doing the law.
Okay, Luke 13.
Chapter 13, verse 12.
Luke 13 and 12. And when Yahweh saw her, he called her to him and said unto her, Woman, thou art loosed from thy infirmity.
So infirmity would be like saying you're loose from your sins. So this woman is representative of the nation of Israel. This woman is a representative of the nation of Israel, and he has loosed her from her sins. Read 15.
The Lord then answered him and said, Thou hypocrite, does not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or his ass from the stall and lead him away to watering? So
on the Sabbath, you're supposed to still look to save someone's soul, someone's life. You're still supposed to look to do that. That's part of what you're supposed to do. You're not at work when you're doing that. You're doing the will of the Father, the will of the Son.
Yeah, you'll be keeping the commandments. To love thy brothers that I love thyself.
You're keeping the law. So somebody see you helping someone, they're going to say, well, what are you doing working? But you're not working. You're actually doing the work or the service to the Most High. Verse 16 says what?
And ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan hath bound, lo, these 18 years be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day. Now did we read 19 and 13? Did we read that? Luke 19 and 13.
No, we didn't read that.
Is it 13? Yeah, 13 and then go to 31.
Do 19 and 13.
I think it's 13.
And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Now jump to which one?
No, that's actually the wrong one.
Oh,
But go to 31.
31, all right. 19 and 31. And if any man asks you, why do you loose him? Thus shall you say unto him, because the Lord have need of him.
Okay, now you know, read verse 32. I should have said 30. I should have said go over.
1932. And they were sent with, and they that were sent went their way and found even as he had said unto them.
These are the disciples that Christ sent to pick up a donkey and the ass colt. Read on.
And if any man asks you, why do you loose him? This shall be unto him, because the Lord have needed of him. And they that were sent went their way and found even as he had said unto them. And as they were loosing the colt, the owners therefore said unto them, why loose ye the colt? You're going into much stuff.
So the colt is the nation of Israel. The reason I went into that because Romans 7:2 spoke about loosing the woman. And that woman also is represented as the ass colt. Reason why it's called the ass colt, because a jackass is stubborn. A jackass is filthy. A jackass roams away from home. Okay? He's a wanderer. Israel had become those things. And Christ was letting them know that this is what you have become. Israel wandered away from the truth. Israel wanders away from its master. Okay? So what did the Most High say? An ass and an ox know its owner in its crib. But Israel does not know.
They do not consider.
They don't consider. So it's letting you know what manner of people we have become since we have sinned. And now the great white horse, he's cleaned us up, and we're the great white horse, which signifies that great army that's going to come in the last days. Okay, now we can move back on to what we was working on.
Revelation chapter 6.
We got off topic, but we're moving back.
No, that's all good.
Okay. Revelation chapter 6, what verse are we on?
We on 11.
11. And it says, and white robes were given unto every one of them.
We explained the white robes.
Right.
Okay.
And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
We read that. Go verse 12.
Verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Verse 13. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
Now, we're getting context here. All right? We gave you precept. Now we're going to give you the context to bring it all together. Go ahead.
And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
Now give me Revelation 19 and 18 real quick.
Revelations 19 and 18.
So, why would they hid themselves from the Pope? When a lot of people is going to be happy following under the Pope's vibration. Because if you follow under the Pope's vibration, you get danties. Just like the celebrities that sell out.
They get goodies.
They get goodies. You get your little danties, your little goodies. You know what I'm saying? So why would they be saying, oh, to the Pope, who's supposed to be the Antichrist, to say, why fall on me? Hide me from the Pope. The Pope, when you sell your soul, he's giving you good things. You ain't going to say that about him if that's the Antichrist that's on that white horse. You're not going to say that about him. This is in context now. Go ahead, Revelation 19:18.
18 says, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great.
Okay, these are the ones that didn't make it out of the great tribulation. These are the ones that did not follow Yahushua wherever he went. Okay, these are the ones that did not keep the commandment. First and foremost, Israel. Okay, because they knew better. The ones that was open up. And we first always talk about the circumcision, because the circumcision is the one that knew the Lord. Okay? Spiritual circumcision, they the ones that knew the Lord. Okay? So we're talking about those people. They're going to eat the flesh of those kings. And this is through Yahweh Bashem and Yahushua sending these plagues. Okay, this is part of that great tribulation. Okay? Okay, go back to Revelation 6.
What verse?
We have 16.
16, Revelation chapter 6, verse 16. And said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Read it again.
And said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
That ain't the Pope.
That's the wrath of the Lamb.
That's the wrath of the Lamb. And we brought you plenty of scriptures about that. Okay, from the beginning. Now this is context. This is summing it up. Now, go ahead. Finish reading it.
Verse 17. This is Revelation 6 and 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
What did we open up with? The terrible, the great and terrible of what? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We opened up with that. Okay, now give me Luke 23 and 29. Luke chapter 23, verse 29 and 30.
Luke chapter 23 and verse 29. For behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear, and the paps which never give suck. Verse 30. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. Verse 31.
You can finish it here.
Verse 31, for if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry?
There it is. All right? So now we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 9:25. Because we're going to end it up. First we're going to go to, go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15 and 16.
2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 16?
15.
15.
And 16.
15 and 16. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Rightly divide the word of truth. That's why we gave you these precepts line upon line. We gave you the context, and we gave you the great and terrible, that Yahushua can be twofold. Okay? These are precepts. We gave you all mostly scriptures. Everything was scriptures. Okay? Everything was scriptures. So that's how you have to study. You can't go by what other men teach you. You can't go by precepts upon men. Okay? Because you're condemning yourself. And that's all I'm here to say. Okay, read it, verse 16.
Verse 16. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness.
Yeah, we're gonna profane stupid talk. Okay, we're gonna profane doctrines of devils. Okay, we're gonna profane words that's added on to the Most High's book. When it tells you in Revelation, don't add on or take away, because you get the curses in this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna profane that. All right. So I bring that up. So when you do research and you go against these precepts, we're not gonna battle with you. You're going against Yahushua. I don't care what a guy teach you outside of the box, what he think he came up with. You need to stop that and dig in it for yourself. That's how you become like the Church of Berea. They searched all things to whether if they be true or a lie. And a lot of y'all don't do that. Y'all go by people who y'all like, who y'all feel is that leading you. The Lord is going to curse you for that, to whom it may concern. Now, speaking of that, 1 Corinthians 9:25.
1 Corinthians
9:25. I'm not trying to bring out a new doctrine. Okay, I'm not trying to add on. I'm not trying to do a tradition about a tradition of men. Come up with my own little kick for the people of Israel. Like, check me out like I'm Superman. I'm not trying to do that. I'm giving you precepts. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, and it says, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things."
What are masteries? Look that up.
Mastery. G75. I can't say the word. Agoni nizan ahi. Agoni zan ahi. Agoni zan ahi.
What script? What is it? 1 Corinthians?
Yeah, I got the meaning. I was just trying to read it.
1 Corinthians. What is it? 5.
Let me go back. 1 Corinthians 9 and verse 25.
Hold on, I got something.
You want me to read the meaning?
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna just play this for you real quick.
You play how it sounds.
Yeah. What was the word? Mastery?
Yeah, mastery.
Where's that at?
That's in G75.
Oh, here it is. We don't speak Greek anyway. So.
It says Samai, Sahi. Mine says Sahi. Well, anyway, to enter a contest, contend in the gymnastic games, to contend with adversaries.
So it's carnal.
Fight, metaphorically, to contend, struggle with difficulties and dangers, to endeavor with strenuous zeal, strive to obtain something.
Go back to the top. The first definition of what you read.
Oh, okay, you want to go back?
Yeah, because it's the first one.
It's the first one. To enter a contest, contend in the gymnastic game.
So a mastery is to get like a title, like a crown. Okay, for like in the ancient Roman days, that mastery is to get crown status. Okay, look what I'm doing. Okay, so read that again from the top.
Okay, it says, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, and it reads, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things."
It's temperate in all things. Look at me, look what I'm doing. The title, okay? A man that's trying to get fame. A man that's trying to come up with a new breakdown. A man that's trying to come up with a new doctrine. You gotta watch out for stuff like that. We read through 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 16. Go ahead.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown.
Okay, a corruptible crown. A corruptible crown, the Most High is not dealing with a corruptible crown. That's a carnal crown. A corruptible is a carnal crown. A corruptible crown is how can you say it, is breaking the law. It's like going against the Lord. It's not spiritual.
Doing it for pride.
You're doing it for, here it is, pride.
But we an incorruptible.
Incorruptible. Now this is what Paul's talking about with that victor crown that I'm about to go into. It's an incorruptible crown. So you have two types of crown. You have a carnal crown, okay? And then you have an incorruptible crown. Then you have the circumcision and the uncircumcision. This crown is of the circumcision, okay, spiritual. Then you have crown that men trying to get masteries, which is in vain. So these are two different type of crowns that we're going to go into. Go ahead.
Verse 26, "I therefore so run not as uncertainly, so fight I not as one that beateth the air."
Right. It's in vain. It's futile.
Can't beat the air.
Yeah, so we talking about a victor's crown. The victor crown you can only get is going through that going through the straight gate. Okay?